Hello and welcome everyone to round number 16 here at Liga Vio for the finale for the Brazilian Grand Prix here at Division 4 for League of Europe. Heading into this one with 16 drivers and looking to wrap up a championship here for one of the REL drivers. One of the AlphaTauri drivers, Ariel Calvin, who's currently on an outlap as United Bosnia goes up to provisional pole position, and Ariel Forza Brennan, the two protagonists here in this championship for Division 4. Here to take you through this one as we just have 11 minutes and 40 seconds left in qualifying. It's going to be myself, internet issues, QVR Packer, and Excel Gary alongside me. How's it going, Gary?
Not too bad, and this is what the whole season has been leading up to. 16 rounds or 15 rounds before this. 20 drivers came into this season with the ambition of maybe winning the championship, maybe fighting for a championship. Only two remain, and like you said, the two teammates, the two AlphaTauris of Ariel Calvin and Forza Brennan are the two guys that are going to be battling it out here in qualifying and in the race for the championship. Gap is 18 points in Forza Brennan's favour, in case you do not realise that. And so Calvin's got a big job on his hand, and the first part of that job will be trying to get pole position. And this man has been the guy for the pole positions this season, as he is on a lap through the Senna S's already. So let's get on board with him. He did a 7.6 banker. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of time in that for him, as he's already 6/10 up through the first sector alone. So that is incredible pace by the AlphaTauri. So he should be aiming well into the sixes by the end of this lap as he comes up now to the double right-hander. Very tricky corner, especially up the hill on traction. It's very easy to lose the car there if yourself hasn't been gone in the right direction in balance-wise. It'll be interesting to see also in the race if we won't have any rain. Brazil always throws up a bit of rain. Wet, dry, wet. A lot of variables tend to happen at Brazil's safety cars. A lot of stuff can happen in this race, and Calvin will be hoping for a very chaotic race as he goes through the last real corner now. He's 8/10 up on his time, so he's going to easily put himself up into pole position. He's going to be the first driver into the sixes as well. Let's see what it's going to be. Sometimes the game can value that you there go too far to the left, but he hasn't had such issues, and it's a 6-7 for the AlphaTauri driver. 5 times clear of United Bosnia in second, and that's a real marker set down by Calvin, and he's done that all season in qualifying, so that's what he needed to do. And his teammate Forza Brennan only down in 9th at the moment.
Yeah, just going to ride on board as Ariel Forza Brennan as we can sort of introduce this stream. I know we're a little bit late in the starting time. Thank you to my internet going out literally 4 minutes before we were supposed to start the stream. But anyways, Frosty Calvin, not Frosty Calvin, previously known as Frosty Calvin and now known as Ariel Calvin, who's just getting out of the way of his teammate there going up through turn 7. But Ariel Calvin has taken 7 pole positions, and he's taken the last 3 in a row, and right now half a second up on provisional pole position, so it could be 8 pole positions. That means he would have taken half the pole positions here in Season 5 for Division 4, which is kind of insane to think about. But yes, he is known as the quality god, if you want to say, of Division 4. Forza Brennan, purple in the middle sector, but was 600s down on his time. Let's see if he can keep going on this lap. Storm just crossed the line, and he's going to be the second driver into the 1 minute 6s. It's a 9.39 for Storm. Forza Brennan will swing over to the right side, and he's not going to be improving on that lap. Is he going to be going again? Possibly for him. We will have to look out and see. Drivers on laps. Ryan B just heading through turn 6. Marty just in behind him going through turn 5. I think those are the only 2 drivers on flyers, unless Forza Brennan has continued going. It doesn't indeed look like he's 800s down, though, in the first sector. Poldy Pulls is on an in-lap. Storm as well on an in-lap, so let's get on board with Ryan B. Just heading through the Alex Albon corner, and goes off into the grass there, and that should be his lap over turn 10. Such a very difficult traction zone. Marty's invalidated on his lap as well, so he's not going to be completing that one, but Heated is on a lap right now, heading through turn 3. He was in the championship fight up until last round, was knocked out in Belgium by Forza Brennan finishing 3rd place, and Heated finishing 4th. So looking to possibly make up some more points here, try and get himself maybe a little bit closer to those guys and claim it as an achievement, but he did invalidate or made a mistake there in the first sector. He's going to be backing off. P11 right now is the first driver with tire choice. I think the next one is going to be Ariel Jordan on a lap.
Yeah, and Forza Brennan just came across the line. They found a 10th in the last sector and proved just over a 10th and a half. The bumps up only in 7th at the moment, but the times are very close. If he can find even just a 10th and a half more, he can go up to 3rd. As Excel Caldi, I think, put himself up to 3rd there, and TG Storm did a 6.9. One and only 2 drivers now to be in the 6s But now we're on board with Ariel Jordan. He's got one real corner to go, then 2 kinks, and he's half a tenth up on his time, just under it, to be fair. And this is going to put him right in the mix. Going to put him maybe in P6, depending on how his last sector was. Here we go now, just a big long straight here in Brazil for the final corner. He got kinks of 14 and 15, not really corners though, and Jordan finds in a little bit more time and puts himself into P6. It's very close in that little midfield between 5th and 10th, or 9th, sorry. 5th and 9th, got a good few drivers all in within a few hundreds of each other. So, as Ramis Humis, if I've said his name right, I think he's a new driver.
No, I think that is Ramp, I think.
Oh, it's Ramp, is it? Okay, never mind. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Must be racing under a new gamer tag, but yeah. I'm going to refer to him as Ramp then, instead of trying to pronounce that name. But anyway, he puts himself up into P3 for the time being with only 6.5 minutes left of qualifying.
Yeah, so Ferrari driver, Ramp, is kind of on a little bit of a nice run here in qualifying here in Division 4. The last few rounds, he's been up near the top 5, and that's been a good turnaround from his season at the beginning. Was quite shocking. I believe he crashed out of qualifying in Austria the first race of the season. So since round 1, it's not been going too well for the Ferrari full-time driver. Excel Cali just crossed the line to start a lap, and Major Falcon will go up to P3 on a 7.057. Not too bad there for Major Falcon. Williams just crossed the line. That was Heated, who went back up into P11 after his lap. He found 0.3 of a second on his previous lap time. Ryan B is in the pit line. I think that was actually Ariel Jordan who just came into the pit line. United Bosnia, Excel Cali, who's backed off. United Bosnia is on a lap right now, just about to cross the line. Let's see what he can do. He's 0.3 up through the first 2 sectors, so this could put him into the 1:06 and possibly challenge for the front row of the grid. Let's see what it's going to be. It's a 6.987 and only a few hundredths of a second off of Storm there on the front row of the grid. So United Bosnia looking pretty strong already here tonight. Storm, as we were mentioning, just starting a lap. But now Cali, Ram's teammate, and right now in P13 here in qualifying with just around 5 minutes left to go. Crossing the line is a 7.2. He found 6.5 of a second. Will put himself into P7. The 2 Ferraris are sandwiching Excel Cali, who looks to be starting possibly another lap just now. I think his Racing Point, his teammate, is just in behind him. So maybe looking to do a little bit of slipstream for the 2 Racing Point guys, or will he just get out of the way? I think he's going to try, but he might just be out of field. Might be coming into the pits is Excel Cali. So yes, he is. So yeah, Backbones gets a little bit of a tow. Let's see where that tow will put him. He actually lost time in the final sector, so he will stay P11 for the time it being. But Ariel Calvin is on provisional pole position by 0.2 of a second. 4.5 minutes left. He should still have one more run and possibly can improve on that and extend himself even further up at the front of the field, while his teammate currently on an outlap P10.
Yeah, and the pressure is now on Forrest Brown. You have to have the cleanest of qualifying at the moment, only down in P10. We'll just remind everyone he does have an 18-point gap, so I know it's only qualifying, but if Calvin started first and Forrest Brennan started 10, Calvin's giving him a great chance of taking the win here. So let's get on board now with Forrest Brennan. He goes on a lap. This might be his last lap of the session, depending on if he comes back into the pits in time, so it's going to be very tight for him. So let's see what he can do through the set of S's of 1, 2, and then around 3. We want to hold that inside curve, this best momentum, keeps the speed up through there, doesn't scrub off any time at all. And he's in 300s up on his time through 4. Now let's see, up the hill of 5, not really a kink, not really a corner now, double left-hander of, right-hander, sorry, of 6 and 7, double apex. We want to go too wide, can't invalidate, now down into a very tricky braking zone, and here again for 9. Very easy to lose a car on traction here. You can see his back end doesn't step out as much as I would have thought now through 10. Again, another hairpin, another tricky traction zone. Pad very favourable here in the middle sector for Brazil. So let's see what he can do now up to 11 and 12. He's 3/10, nearly 4/10 up on his time. So this is going to put him just into the 7s or 6s maybe. If he can hook up this last sector for the kink of 14 and then up to 15. Let's see what the Irishman can do. Championship leader for the Brennan. What's going to do? He comes across the line. It's going to be a 7 dead. And that puts him in 4th. That's much more like it from the Irishman. And it puts him in touching distance of his teammate Ariel Calvin.
It may be touching distance, but it's also championship winning position. All he needs to do is finish 5th or higher, and no matter what Ariel Calvin will do, he will win the Drivers' Championship here in Division 4 for Season 5, the battle of the 2 AlphaTauri. And I must say, he may do, even if he does well here tonight, his editing skills, I must say, that video put out on Twitter last night, that was immense. That was great. I love that video. But yeah, anyways, just crossing the line there, he might just have enough time. I don't think he will, though, to possibly do another lap. So that is probably the championship leader's qualifying session over here tonight, unless he wants to give his teammate slipstream. I'm sure he will not. But yeah, Poldy Pulls is a driver on a lap. He's in the Red Bull, just heading through turn 4 there. Goes a little bit wide. Ooh, lucky to not invalidate. And Harry Noir just in behind him in the McLaren, just heading through turn 4 as well. Let's get on board with Poldy Pulls. But yeah, now we can start to begin to talk about the championship permutations. So it was put out on the Twitter at, I believe, at League of Europe on Twitter. But yeah, the D4 permutations. Brandon wins the championship if he finishes 5th. Anywhere in 1st to 5th, he will win the championship. And if Calvin doesn't finish 1st or 2nd, he will win the championship as well. Calvin can finish 2nd because he does have five wins. I think Forza Brennan only has 4 wins, so he would win the championship in that case. But yeah, Poldy Pulls just crossing the line in the Red Bull, finds a 10th and goes up to P7. There's a driver just in behind him, one of the Alfa Romeos. I think Harry Noir was the next driver to cross the line. He was 3 seconds down on his lap heading through the middle sector, and yeah, I think he's just going to be starting another one. Ryan B is on a lap second place in the championship. The championship protagonist, Ariel Calvin, half a 10th up in the 1st sector. Let's see if we can find anyone else who's closer to starting a lap. Harry Noir has retired on the exit of turn 2, exit of turn 2 through turn 3, off on the wall there on your right side.
Ooh, Calvin invalidated. Calvin has invalidated, so he's going to have
he
to
should have
back
enough
off
time to do another lap, though.
Yeah, he should be fine. But now the pressure's on. He doesn't have a big of a margin that he had in recent times in qualifying, and Storm's already a 10th up nearly through the 1st sector, so Storm is someone to look out for this qualifying here. Storm has shown great pace at certain tracks this season as he goes up through double right-hander of 7 and 8. His qualifying has been very good in some parts this season and others not so good, so let's see what he can do now through 9 and coming up to 10. Going to come up now to the 2nd split very shortly indeed is DG Storm. What he can do now, he's only got a handful of corners to negotiate now. 11, not really a corner in these F1 cars, and he is down. He's lost just over a 10th of a second through that middle sector, so he needs an almighty final corner if he wants to get near Ariel Calvin, and the clock is gone past the 18-minute mark, so qualifying is over, so there is no second chances, and he pits. So best Storm is going to start here as 2nd at least, and he's pitted, and meanwhile Mega Falcon put himself up into 3rd, and Forza Brendan's going to be 5th at best, so there's a couple of guys still on laps. I'm not sure who's still on laps, but he's one of
I believe Calvin, United Bosnia, out of the top 5 are still on laps right now. Calvin wasn't up in the 1st sector, so he wasn't able to replicate that 1st sector. Obviously, those tires are going to be warm, but he's going to be on a little bit lower amount of fuel. A big lock up there in to the Alexander Albon corner, turn 10 for you guys here tonight. Through turn 11, flat out for the AlphaTauri driver, and he's not up in the middle sector. I don't think anyone's really going to be challenging him because United Bosnia has backed off of his lap, so it should be on for pole position. Ariel Jordan's not on a lap unless Excel Cali can pull something out of the back. He doesn't improve on his lap. He will start P11 for the time being. Dirt Sim has backed off. Ryan B just crossed the line. He finds a 10th and a half, but it'll only be 15. So it's going to be Ariel Calvin for the 8th time this season on pole position here in Division 4, and this is what he needed to start his championship hopes, or his championship battle off right here tonight. Ariel Forza Brennan, P5 right now, is in a championship winning position, but Ariel Calvin will have the opportunity to lead away from the front of the race and drive his own race. Obviously, he has no real impact on what Forza Brennan's able to do, so he's just going to have to hope and try and win this race, possibly get fastest lap to help him there. But Forza Brennan down P5, Ariel Calvin P1, as Storm will take the, I believe, the 2nd front row this season here in Division 4.
Yeah, that's exactly what Calvin needed, like you said. But as things stand, Forza Brennan will still be champion. If the race is ended and Calvin finished first, and Forza Brennan finished 5th, he will be champion. I wonder, we did mention this in the Gloves Are Off podcast a couple of nights ago. I mentioned this too for Forza Brennan. If he expected Calvin to do any mind games or any games in the race, maybe holding up the field, a bit like Hamilton in 2016 at Abu Dhabi. It is quite a difficult track to do that. It's quite easy to overtake compared to Abu Dhabi, so I don't think Calvin's going to have the luxury of doing that. He's going to have to hope that Forza Brennan maybe has a bad start, loses a couple of positions, and struggles to get past the rest of those guys after that. But yeah, I think if I'm Ariel Calvin, I'm just focusing on my own race, doing what I need to do, and so far he's done that in qualifying. Now, can he convert that pole position into the race win that he so desperately needs?
Well, that is definitely the question here tonight, especially for Ariel Calvin. He needs to lead away from pole position. He needs to win this race and not help anyone around him. If he can get away from Storm early on, I think he can begin to pull away and make that gap, make it even harder for Storm to possibly hold these guys behind, or maybe he'll keep him in DRS. But it is going to be Storm on the front row, followed by Major Falcon, United Bosnia, and Forza Brennan in P5. Camel, Ramp, Ariel, Jordan, Poldy Pulls, and Heated will be the top 10. Excel Cali once again starting P11, followed by Dirt 10, Bag of Bounds, Marty, Ryan B. Harry Nowark, and Ecos Ty, who joined halfway through the session, I believe, and was not able to set a time in 17th, I think that is for him. But yeah, story of the night is going to be Ariel Calvin versus Forza Brennan. Forza Brennan versus the field, and Ariel Calvin, obviously, versus his teammate. And the conditions of his, what he needs to do, finish top 2.
Yeah, and it's a bit overcast here in Brazil, and who knows, might be a few bits of rain. We haven't been told in the chat like we usually are if it's going to rain or not, so if anyone is listening that is racing, it'd be great to know what the weather is saying. It does look like it could rain at some stage. It's quite overcast, and in Brazil, overcast usually means rain, so I think Calvin might like that. Calvin is the lead car, of course, in a situation like that, pitting for intermediates or full wets, he's going to have the advantage of being the first driver and get priority, and that will hold up for the Brennan. And we've seen that last week in Spa, where Forza Brennan got held up and lost 2 positions, and ultimately cost him 2nd place in Spa, which is 3 points, and that 3 points could have been huge in the championship. It could have been a 21-point gap going into this race instead of 18. So we'll have to see, as Storm has said in the chat, that it is all dry for the race. So it's going to be a boring Brazil race. So hopefully the drivers can make it entertaining, as they have done all season. 15 rounds, last one. Hope it's as exciting as the other 15. And yeah, I can't wait for this. It's going to be very exciting between Ariel Calvin and Forza Brennan. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, it's going to be a straight sprint, especially for Ariel Calvin. He needs to get away at the front and make this as easy as possible for himself. He doesn't need any unnecessary safety cars, VSCs, crashes, anything of the sort. He just needs to focus on himself, as you mentioned there. But now we can pull the tires up on the screen. It is obviously going to be the softs for the top 10. Cali's going to be starting on P11. Durham will be on the softs in P12. Bagabon's P13. Marty is going to be P14 on the softs. So Durham and Marty, the McLaren and the Renault driver, taking the softs outside of the top 10. Ryan B. Harry Nowarg, Ecos Ty, P15 through P17 on the mediums. As I mentioned, with Vagabonds and Excel Cali, 2 racing points outside the top 10 on those medium compounded tires. They're going to be looking to go longer. I'm not entirely sure how much longer. Maybe lap 20, 21, 22, I'd like to think, for the soft tires at the end of the race.
Yeah, I think if they're on the mediums, I think anywhere between 20 and 22, you might expect guys to start pitting in and throwing on a fresh set of soft tires. It'll be very interesting to see if we have an early safety car, what the strategy will be then. Will anyone elect for the hard? I don't think the hard could make it to the end of the race, so it'll be interesting to see if we have a few two stoppers in the race, if there is an early safety car, but we'll have to wait and find out as Calvin now decides to back up the pack. He doesn't want to be waiting on the grid any longer than he has to.
Yeah, he's going to need the best start possible, and this is what's going to lead to that start. He needs to keep the grid as riled up as possible. Harry Nowarg, Ecos Ty slowing down just a little bit to get maybe there's a little bit more temperature in their tires. Obviously, they're going to be down towards the back, so they're going to have what should be the highest temperature in their tires compared to when they did roll on to the grid. But yeah, Ariel Calvin, I think, has just reached his grid slot. They're just slotting in just past the start-finish line there. He will be slotting into P1. It's going to be an uphill run and then into a downhill turn 1 for Ariel Calvin. It's going to be difficult for these guys to get off the start line if their tires are going to be cold or overheated, possibly, for them. But let East Coast Ty just slotting into P17 in his Red Bull. 155.1 kilometers, 96.3 miles for these drivers here tonight if they do indeed complete all 36 laps. Let's see what it's going to be here for the finale in Division 4 for League of Europe for Season 5. It could all go bad. It could all go good for these drivers. We have 5 lights and they are out for the finale here in Division 4. Ariel Calvin gets a good start and he's going to hold off TTG Storm into turn 1. I think there's a driver around the outside. That is Major Falcon going side by side with the Mercedes, but Storm has lost his P2 position from the front row of the grid, but now he's going to be trying to go around the outside of Major Falcon. Will get the door forcefully slammed on him once again, twice already as we go down to the middle sector for turn 4. Storm is going to be down to P3. We have a few incidents. We had a Racing Point spinning down towards the back. That was Excel Cali from P11, so his race has gone to already broken down before it has really started. Ariel Forza-Brennan has kept P5, and I think he's kept it clean so far in this race. Obviously, only lap 1, just heading into turn 8, but Ariel Calvin will lead away, and now he has Major Falcon, who could be a challenge in him or to him in this race already, and Storm is right on the back of that hash, trying to follow him through.
Yeah, I think Storm got caught sleeping there. He had a good run. I thought he was going to send down the inside of Calvin. Thought better of it, and then Major Falcon just goes, I'll go around the outside of you at turn 1. Thank you very much. And the half driver got himself up into P2, and it was all over the back of the Avatar, and he's wasting no time. He wants to get into the lead this race. He's using all his overtake. He's already derated, so I don't allow G Storm to have a chance, as he doesn't have the full power of the battery. So let's see what Storm can do down the inside. They're going to be side by side. Major Falcon going to try to squeeze. He's going to have the inside line for turn 2. Very easy to crash here. There's a bit of contact. Storm gets pushed onto the curb a little bit there, and United Baltimore is sniffing about, and he thinks he has a chance of getting onto the podium at the moment. Is he going to have a look down the inside of Storm into turn 4? He thinks better of it, and he holds position for the time being. But yeah, the elbows really coming out already for these top 2 guys, or top 3. Calvin is really under pressure.
Oh, Marty's out! No, he's not out, but he's off into the wall.
No, well, how is he not out of the race? He's so far in the infield. That's like a Jarno Trulli crash from way back. And we have a safety car. Wow, safety car is out. And I called it, I said it, if there's an early safety car, what are the guys going to do? Is anyone going to pit? Let's wait and see. Oh, let's see what the AlphaTauri Jeff has to say. He's made very questionable calls all season long. And this is the most important one he needs to get right. Does he pit his drivers? Does he keep them out? We have to wait and find out. So, only 2 laps in. I'm surprised the safety car came out there. Marty survived, just about.
There was a little bit of wing damage, because Marty got wing damage, I think, banging into the side of Ariel Jordan, going down to the straight, and then obviously that speared him off. Ooh, Storm, Storm was in. I think he's going to be the only one to pit, as well as one of the McLaren's dirt him. And Ryan B.
That's interesting that a couple of medium runners have come into the pits. Well, Ryan B on the medium has come into the pits. And they're all going on to a set of mediums. I wonder if Ryan B is going to go on to a set of softs, maybe? But yeah, these guys are all going on to a 2-stop now, and I don't know if this is the right call. Yeah, Ryan B does put on a set of soft tyres, so maybe Ryan B is thinking soft to the end of the race. It could work for him. We'll have to wait and see. As Mari on to a set of parts, they are not making it to the end of the race. There is just no way. I would be shocked if he couldn't make it. XL Cali's also in. We're getting that wing change, so yeah, well, we'll take a breather. We very anticlimactic so far. We had a bit of chaos. And then we had the safety car, so getting ready now for round 2 when the safety car does decide to come in and that DRS gets enabled. That's when we'll start seeing the battling and the overtaking and maybe even more carbon fibre wheel all over the track.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It was either a Division 4 or Division 2 race, but I can't exactly remember the exact race. But there was a very similar situation to this. Storm is obviously going to be on 0-lap old tires, but everybody in front of him, they've only done 2 laps on their tires, and now the next 2 to 3 laps are going to be under the safety car. So these tires are not going to be too much fresher than the guys in front of them, and the mediums, as we said previously, can go about 20 laps. And they're pretty consistent. They don't really fall off at the end of their stints. Obviously, the soft tires are going to be starting to struggle once they get up to that position. But now these soft runners can possibly stretch to a soft medium strategy, lap 14, 15, 16, all of those laps as well, and make it to the end of the race. So I don't know if this is the right decision for Storm, because now he's forced into making another pit stop.
Yeah, and he's giving up track position. This is the issue that Storm has right now. He's got a free pit stop, but Camel nearly has spun. I think Camel nearly hit the back and forth of Brendan, and now turn 2, and they decided to try to correct the spun, and now he's lost 3 positions, and he's down into P8. That is very, very bizarre what I've just seen there. I haven't seen that. I don't think I've ever seen that. I've seen people spin under the safety car.
Yeah.
I myself have spun under a safety car, but I've never seen someone almost spin trying to avoid a crash. That is very bizarre indeed, and that's going to hurt Camel. He's lost 3 positions to Pody Post Heated and Jordan. He's down now from P6 or P5. He was in a P5 down now to P8. So yeah, very bizarre. And Forrest Brendan, of course, was so unhit and got a free position. He's now into P4, so he's got a bit of leeway in what he can do now. He's in P4. I think Forrest Brendan just thinking, if I get into the podium, my job is done. I don't need to go any further than third. I can just solidify and have a bit of a buffer, and I can maybe even lose a couple of positions if I have to later on in the race. And maintain my championship lead. So I'm probably thinking for the Brennan, probably going to try and get United Bosnia off the start. I think we're going to do one more lap. But that's going to be a very late call from the safety car, and we will get go racing again. I wonder if we're going to see a Verstappen-esque restart. What do you think?
Well, that's normally what happens here in Brazil. We try and go as late as possible because this is the longest straight, if you want to call it a straight, to make overtaking, and DRS doesn't start to just before the pit lane. So it's the best overtaking opportunity, I'd say, either this or turn 4, or turn 1 or turn 4. But yeah, Ariel Calvin is going to have to try and negotiate this safety car restart. This is what I said he didn't really need, as I think he's gone as the AlphaTauri driver, the leader of the race. And United Bosnia already trying to make a move on Major Falcon, who's really close off the safety car restart, but Major Falcon has beat him down towards turn 1. Heated and Jordan going side by side into the first corner. Red Bull just got squeezed out. I think that was the Ferrari of Camel making up position there on pole poles, who seemed to struggle there on the safety car restart. Storm and Durham. We had a spinner. It's a McLaren. It's Harry de Warg, who's been spun off the track there. Excel Cali down the field trying to make a move. Anyone else trying to make a move into turn 4? I don't think these drivers are going to be staying in position for the time being. As I say that, Excel Cali trying to make a move on Marty around the outside of turn 5, and the Racing Point driver will have that on those fresh, soft compound tires. He really needs to make the move. Make the moves if he is going to try and complete that strategy. But Ariel Calvin up at the front of the race. He has another lap and a half, or he has another 2 laps after this to break DRS if he really needs to from Major Falcon. But he could just tow him along, make it even more difficult for Forza Brennan to get through the field. But obviously, Forza Brennan P4, Calvin needs Heated, Jordan, Camel, all these guys on the soft compound tires to challenge his teammate. I think Ryan B just made his way past Storm, who must have made a mistake on those medium compounded tires, falling behind the Alfa Romeo driver. But Ariel Calvin up at the front of the race is already leading from Major Falcon, and Major Falcon possibly looks to be challenging here. Only Slipstream is already closing down as Ariel Calvin says fastest lap of the race on 11.2.
I just noticed Major Falcon has used 50% DRS already. We've only done 1 lap of racing after the safety car. He's absolutely drained everything, still draining. He's probably down near low in the 20s at the moment. He's got 22% DRS, and we've only done a lap and a half of clean racing. So Major Falcon's ERS management is completely out of the window. We've seen this in Belgium a couple of weeks ago, where Major Falcon was trying to get the lead of the race, and Harry Newell was hard in the pit. That shouldn't cause a safety car, but we've seen this in Major Falcon already this season in Spa, where he drained a lot of ERS at the start of the race, trying to get the lead of the race, couldn't get it, and then later on just fell off the train and came 5th, I think, or something like that, as his ERS management just let him down a little bit. So let's see what he can do. I think he just wants to take the lead, control the race, and go from there. But I think Calvin's got a lot of ERS in hand, so I think he's going to be able to defend from Major Falcon, especially with no ER or DRS. So we'll wait and see. I don't think he's going to be close enough unless he uses absolutely everything. I think Forza Brennan just holding back a little bit. He's not as close to United Bosnia and Major Falcon is to Calvin, so I think he's just holding back, waiting to see what happens. So I think he's just buying his time at the moment.
Yeah, Forza Brennan really does not have to do anything in this situation, as DRS is now enabled for the first time here on lap number 7. Ariel Calvin leading, but now this is going to be Major Falcon's first opportunity. He's already below that 10% mark, so he's not going to be using as much. He's not going to get the same amount of power that he normally would if he was above that 10% mark. He'll go to 11%, but then on the exit of the corner, he's obviously going to use it because you are stuck in that one mode and you're forced to use it. There is no none mode here on the F1 2020 in terms of ERS. It is no longer F1 2019. But yeah, Forza Brennan in P4 just sticking on the back of these guys, and he's doing a very nice job of that as well. He is sticking a little bit further back, as well as Ariel Jordan, who's on the brink of being broken away from DRS here through the middle sector, just there through turn 10. He's over a second gap to Heated, has a little bit of a slide. I think that might be him out of DRS. So now the worst possible scenario for Calvin is Heated sets the purple middle sector and is closed right on to the back of Forza Brennan, and Alfa Romeo off. That's Ryan B.
Yeah, Ryan B is spun. That won't cause the safety car, I don't think. I think he's managed to get back on track, so he should be okay. But Major Falcon literally has 0% ERS, but he's got DRS. He's going to have a look. We're trying to go around the long way of turn 1. Maybe get a switch back, get the better line for turn 2 and 3. And he's going to have a great run here, great momentum down to turn 4 with DRS. He's going to get tucked into the slipstream of the outside, but Calvin's just using so much more ERS on him because he has it. And he's going to be able to defend a little bit. Major Falcon's just his ERS management let him down the moment, but he's still pushing. He is still trying. He's all over the back of that AlphaTauri. And Ariel Calvin knows how critical it is for him to maintain this lead. And he's had to drain a lot of ERS. He's down to 20%. United Bosnia here is sitting with over 50% ERS. So he's in a really good position here as the Renault driver. If he can just play the long game, these two guys in front of him are using a lot more ERS than him. So There's becoming this 5-man train here. He is getting dragged along as well. So we got a 5-way battle for the lead of the race at the moment. He's got 80% ERS. He's got considerably more than everyone else. You know, Bosniak gets a little shape going up into turn 12. Might have picked up a 1 for off track there, but he's going to have a great run out of turn 12 and then through 13 and up to 14 and 15. He's going to have Major Falcon. Major Falcon has literally nothing to defend with. DRS isn't going to be enough with the ERS that United Bosnia has, and he makes a move down the inside of, or around the outside, sorry, of turn 1, and he gets up into P2, and his sights are now set on Ariel Calvin.
These are the two worst possible things for Ariel Calvin, because now United Bosnia is going to have DRS, and he almost has an ERS advantage. These two drivers are very, very close in terms of ERS battery storage and the amount in that storage. Ooh, Jordan got pushed off the track there just a little bit by Camel going into turn 4. Camel trying to defend this position after making the move on Ariel Jordan, who was indeed dropped from DRS. As Poldypul's trying to make a move up the inside of turn 6. Is the Red Bull driver going to be able to do it? The Alfa Romeo is going to give him the space, and Poldypul's is going to be up into P7 going there into turn 8 now, but just up at the front of the field. Camel is out of DRS range because Jordan was dropped from the top 5, so was not quite able to stick with them, and that is one of the worst possible things for to happen to Ariel Calvin's race, because now Forza Brendan, the lowest he can really go here in terms of cars overtaking Forza Brendan is P5, just with Heated on the back of this train, who has 90% ERS, so he's has the most ERS out of all the drivers in this train. Ariel Calvin using his ERS, Bosnia is not, because he does have the DRS, but now it's going to be Forza Brendan versus Major Falcon. Forza Brendan making his way onto the podium position. It's going to be side by side going down the pit straight as United Bosnia has to try and avoid Ariel Calvin. Almost took out the race leader, almost took out the second part in this championship battle, but now Forza Brendan is going to be up onto the podium as Baggy Bones and Ramp are battling through turn 1 and 2. Ramp made his way around the outside of turn 2. That's a great move there from the Ferrari driver. He's going to be up in a P10 and now will be within 3 World Championship points if he were to finish this way, but Baggy Bones doesn't want him to finish that way. Up the inside of turn 4, he's not quite side by side with the Ferrari driver.
Crashed. Oh, that is a Jarno Trulli and Sutil moment if I've ever seen. I don't know how either of them have not gone into the wall. Oh, guys, you have come back on track very unsafe right there. That is wow. And yeah, that 5-man train just became a 3-man train, and it's looking even better for Forza Brendan. I think Major Falcon, and he just touch wheels, just glued together, going up to 6 and 7. And that caused him to veer off to the left, and somehow neither of them ended up in the wall. But I'm sure Forza Brendan has a big spot in his face right now. He's got a 3.2 second gap to the guys behind, the train behind. So he's in a great position. Here comes United Bosnia. He's going to have a look on Ariel Calvin. He might get the lead of the race. He's going to get the lead of the race. He's going to go around the outside of turn 1. He's going to break it very late. Calvin tries to break it a bit later. He's going to have the inside line. United Bosnia's going to just hold back, maybe get a better run for turn 4, because it got a bit wide there. That's going to compromise his run a little bit. Forza Brendan just looking back, keeping an eye on what's going on now. And United Bosnia go around the outside turn 4. Very difficult to do it. I don't think he's going to touch the grass a little bit. Go for the switchback up and under. That's a great move by the Renault driver. He's going to be side by side, going up to 6 and 7. What can they do? Is Calvin going to back out? Calvin's not going to back out. Breaks very late and takes control of that corner. And that's well defended by the race leader.
Yeah, Ariel Calvin, though, still has 27% ERS just heading through turn 9 there. United Bosnia is a little bit lower, just hit that 20% mark, but Forza Brendan has quite a bit of ERS, so if either of these two drivers keep battling, Forza Brendan can easily take the lead of this one if if he does indeed use that ERS when it comes time to lap 11, just going on to lap 12 as they head through turn 12, I want to say. Yeah, turn 12 there for those, the leading trio of Ariel Calvin, United Bosnia, and Ariel Forza Brendan. But with that mistake from Heated and Major Falcon, this has really not helped Ariel Calvin's case in this championship bid, or in his championship bid. United Bosnia still getting close into turn 1 as Heated sets fastest lap of the race down in P6 and made his way past Ariel Jordan. He only has 0.4 of a second to Poldypul, so he's going to have to try and he's already trying to make his way through the field as United Bosnia getting close to Ariel Calvin down towards turn 4, but not going to be quite close enough. So now he's going to be sitting in behind. We already know what he's going to do. He's possibly going to wait till pit stop time, get a little bit of that ERS back, and then try and send it once again to take that race lead and put the two Alpha Tauris in behind him. In the position to battle each other and possibly a runaway up at the front of the field. But Major Falcon, after that contact with Heated, is starting to fall off the back of the train in front of him, that train being Jordan. Heated Poldypul's led by Camel. So Major Falcon struggling, it seems, a little bit here.
Yeah, I think that ERS management is coming back to bite him, especially in the trains where it's very difficult to overtake, and he just doesn't have that ERS. And maybe he's lost his head a little bit with that incident with Heated and Major Falcon, they were battling for a podium. We've got yellow flags again. I think Ryan B has gone off once again. Not the race the Sauber driver or Alfa Romeo driver wants to have for the last race of the season. And here comes United Bosnia, round 3 against Calvin. He's going to go around a long way again at turn 1. We've seen this before. Calvin gets a big squeeze. United Bosnia is going to try and do the exact same thing he did a couple of laps ago. Going to try and get the better run out of turn 2 and 3. Have to run down to turn 4 with the DRS and ERS. What can he do? I don't think it's going to be close enough, I don't think he is. And he's going to have to buy his time a little bit just as he gets closer and closer, the track just runs out of the road and he has to hold it and just step back. And these 3 guys are still pulling away from the guys in 4th, 5th and 6th, and this big train that goes all the way down to 9th. So Calvin, I don't think Calvin needs the guys to get closer, but I don't think Calvin is in the position to slow down the pack. I don't think he can. United Bosnia is just very, very quick at the moment.
I think United Bosnia made a little bit of a mistake there.
Yeah, I think he did, because Forza Brendan's all over the back, and Forza Brendan has a healthier ERS than everyone, the top 2 guys, so he could be in the battle for the win here. You don't know. He's got over 50% ERS. Is he going to start using some of that to get past the Renault driver of United Bosnia? I think he is. United Bosnia's not using any. He's going to left the Alfa Romeo for the racing, or the pit. Wow, okay, Calvin. And, United Bosnia gets a 5-second. I was on board. He nearly took the back. He's very lucky not to lose his wing there, I think. Very, very lucky indeed.
He was lucky that the pit limiter line slowed him down there, I have to say. Otherwise, he would have slammed right into the back of Ariel Calvin, Alpha Tower, and possibly could have ended his race or given him wing damage. We already know Codemasters physics. If you get hit from behind, you could possibly lose your front wing. We do indeed really love Codemasters. But now Ariel Forza Brendan will assume the lead of this race. He's going to be 3.8 seconds in the lead to Poldy Pulls, who was able to make the move on Camel on the previous lap. He just in behind them, followed by Jordan and followed by Major Falcon now, who's been able to use his DRS and get onto the back of Jordan, who seems to be struggling a little bit early on, not quite able to keep up with the pace. But I think Ariel Calvin has just come out and was able to split the gap as Ryan B lets United Bosnia through, interestingly. But now United Bosnia's gone on hards, and Ariel Calvin's gone on mediums. I know mediums are a little bit of a stretch from here, I want to say, but hards can definitely make it to the end.
I don't think hards are the right tire to go on. They're very slow, and you can just see he's going to lose so much time before the Brendan comes into the pits. Forza Brendan had over 50% ERS, and he used all of it that lap, so he's going to be, I think it's going to be close between him and Calvin, I think it's going to be very close. As Poldy Post is the next driver to pick up a speeding penalty into the pits. It's very common to get one of those here at Brazil. It's very easy to speed into the pits, so let's see, keep an eye on the gap. So here comes Calvin, he's coming across the line now. Let's have to see where his teammate Forza Brendan is. I think he might just be able to stay ahead, but I think Forza Brendan might be able to jump United Bosnia. They're going to be very close indeed. This is going to be, I think Forza Brendan has him, Calvin has him, and yeah, United Bosnia stays ahead as well. But it's going to be interesting to see what United Bosnia can do on those hard tires, because I don't think they're the best tire in the world.
Yeah, I don't think either of those hard tires, especially with the cooler conditions, are not going to be too amazing. Those medium tires are going to be able to keep the temperature very, very nicely for the 2 Alpha Tower drivers, and possibly Ariel Forza Brendan will be able to charge on and through past United Bosnia and up into that what would be net second place as Ryan B picks up a 3-second time penalty in 13th place there on those soft tires that he's been on for 11 laps. But Poldy Pulls, Camel, and Ramp have all pitted for hard compound tires. And did the 2 Ferraris? No, I don't think they did. I don't think they pitted together. But yeah, anyways, he did. Now we'll assume the lead of the race. Ariel Jordan, very, very close, was quite close in tow, but now he's going to be into the pit lane. Is anyone else going to come into the pit lane? None out of the people who have yet to pit. Storm and Backabones going side by side. Storm on the medium compound tires. Drop track position at the during the early safety car as Ariel Calvin fastest lap of the race, a 110.1. But Storm not been quite able to make his way through the field. He's using all of his ERS, and he doesn't have much. Backbones without the DRS. Storm has DRS, but the Racing Point driver able to hold on for the time being on those medium tires that he did indeed start on. Cali on soft set, which he pitted onto, I believe, under the safety car. But Major Falcon now is going to be P3. Ecos Ty 1.1 seconds behind Hayden and is starting to struggle. United Bosnia picks up 3 seconds of time penalties and has dropped from DRS range. Forza Brennan needs to make this move as soon as possible, and he only has 20% ERS advantage, so it could help him. But right now, Forza Brennan, though, we have to remember, is still winning the championship.
Yeah, Forza Brendan doesn't have to do anything here. He could just sit behind United Bosnia, and United Bosnia is in a net P2 once the pit stops are done, but will be P3 after the pen is applied. So Forza Brendan is on for a P2 here, and that's more than enough for him to be champion here. More than enough. So he doesn't need to do anything stupid. Maybe let the move come to him instead of searching for the move. As we still got a good few guys out on the soft tyres. I think a couple of guys like XL Cali who pitted under the safety car after picking up damage. So you expect him to go for a few more laps. But Michael Falcon on those soft tyres has done 16 laps. He's still out. Maybe they're hanging out for a safety car. I'm not too sure. But that's a very long time to go on a set of soft tyres. So I'll be interested to see when he does come into the pits. His heat and pole poles are going at it, I think. No, that's my graphic. Yeah, he coming out of the pits. My mistake. But yeah, Forza Brendan. Oh, Forza Brendan makes the move. Sorry, I've missed that. Forza Brendan has gotten past United Bosnia and up into a net P2. So Forza Brendan is just a Sunday drive for him now till the end of the race. This is his race now to throw away. This is his championship to throw away. Just needs to keep on the road and he will be champion.
Yeah, right now, Calvin is doing what he needs to do to win this race. All the pressure is on Forza Brennan, and there's not much I have to say. He's in a comfortable P2. He only has United Bosnia within DRS range of him, and even when the guys in front of him pit, there's no one going to be within DRS range of those two drivers. So Forza Brennan just has to drive it home, and he's on for a podium position at the very, very least. P2 at the very least, considering United Bosnia has 8 seconds of time penalties and is on a harder compound of tires that is not going to be working very well for these first few laps after the pit stops. But yeah, now going on to lap 18 as the leader, Ekos Tai has assumed that race lead from everyone who has indeed pulled into the pit lane most recently, Heated LH. But he's going to be leading, followed by Major Falcon, who's done, as you mentioned, 17 laps on the soft compound tires. I'm not exactly sure what he's looking for, but a safety car, I'm sure, would be one of those things. XL Cali, 14 laps on the soft tires. He's maybe extending to go onto another set of soft tires. He obviously started the race on a set of mediums, so that the medium soft strategy that you predicted during the safety car could possibly work. I didn't think it was going to, but Cali seems to be pulling off for the time being. Storm just in behind these guys who pitted on their safety car as well and went on to the mediums. He's P4, but is out of DRS range right now and seems to be struggling as well as Vagabonds. But Dirt Tim is right on the back of the racing point, followed by Marty, who pit onto a set of hard tires under the safety car. Ariel, and then it is the net race leaders, Ariel Calvin, 4.2 seconds behind these guys and closing in very, very, very quickly.
It'd be interesting to see, because likes of Marty will be going long on those hard tires. It'd be interesting to see if these guys catch up to these the medium and hard runners before they pit, and if they do, that's going to allow Forza Brennan maybe to sneak back into DRS of his teammate Ariel Calvin. The gap is 1.4 at the moment. So he just needs to be held up for a little bit through that middle sector, and he can get some very valuable DRS. And we've seen Calvin this season. His Achilles heel has been trying to get through the traffic a lot this season. He's found trouble doing so. So keep an eye out when they catch up to these guys, and maybe Calvin runs into a bit of issues, and that allows him to get some DRS for the Brendan. And we've got a three-way battle for fourth at the moment on track, at least between Vagabonds, Dirt Tim, and Marty. Getting very close, all of them very close on track. As a great Arab once said, you could throw a blanket over them. They are that close together on track. So yeah, these guys are just running their own race at the moment, not really concerned about the championship guys behind. And yeah, they're going to catch very soon, because Calvin's taken like over a second out of these guys already. Oh, as Marty's made a mistake, and Calvin's going to catch him at like the perfect time here. He's going to get DRS. Marty's not going to have DRS, so this could be a blessing in disguise for Calvin right now.
Yeah, Calvin's not going to have DRS, so he can begin to pull away once again from Forza Brennan. He will have that DRS, and he's going to be making his way around the outside of Marty, who made that mistake on those hard tires. You can already see how bad those hard tires are for Marty. He's been on them for 15, now 16 laps, so he's really seemingly struggling with rear grip here there in his run-up. But Calvin will be up to P6 now, and now has an even bigger gap over his Alpha Tower, his Relentless, his championship rival. There, it's I believe it's 1.8 seconds, 1.9 seconds possibly is the gap between the two Alpha Towers, the two net race leaders, as United Bosnia has been able to stick within DRS range for the time being. He did it, I think, is in a net P4 right now. He pit on the mediums and should be able to undercut anyone who still has yet to pit. So he's going to still be on it for a pretty decent result. He has pulley pulls in tow on those 4-lap old hard tires. But now it's going to be interesting to see what Ekos Tai will do, as well as XL Cali. Cal's been on those soft tires for the longest out of anyone, bar Major Falcon, who pit a few laps ago. But now let's see what the current race leaders will do. Ekos Tai will stay out. Cali is going to be going in. I'm sure that's going to be for another set of soft tires. Storm, Backbones should all stay out, as well as Dirt Tim. So now Calvin will be up into P5, and all these net race leaders will be up another position.
Yeah, so maybe Cali maybe salvage a point or two going on to a fresh set of soft tires. Just one thing to notice though, United Bosnia is sticking in the DRS before the Brendan. And at some stage, I don't know when, but at some stage those hard tyres are going to be better than those medium tyres. So United Bosnia could still get a P2 on track, or maybe even P2 in general, if Forza Brendan picks up a pen or something like that. So United Bosnia is doing very well at the moment to stick in the DRS of Forza Brendan and give him half a chance of maybe getting a chance of still being on the podium. As this isn't, as you can see here, Calvin is stuck behind their Tim, and Forza Brendan is stuck behind Marty. So Forza Brendan can't make use of his teammate getting stuck in traffic because he's stuck in traffic as well. So what I was saying a couple of laps ago, Forza Brendan maybe getting DRS by Calvin getting stuck in traffic isn't going to come to fruition, as he is himself getting stuck in traffic. So let's see if Calvin can get past their team down this straight. I expect him to, as I don't think their team has DRS. No,
ooh, United Bosnia has made a mistake.
Yes, he has. Wow, we've gone off track at the end of turn 12, the last corner on track. Yeah, and that's really going to hurt him, as here comes Calvin on... my time is glitched. Calvin on their team, and he gets the move done down the inside of turn 1. I think his teammate, Brendan, down the inside of Murray gets it done as well. So 2 for 1 for the AlphaTauri boys, and they are up into 2nd and 4th, a net P1 and P2.
Yeah, I think Major Falcon has made a mistake as well and just got reset the track there. He went so super wide at turn 1. I don't know. Maybe he has a technical issue or a mechanical or a setup issue or something.
It is very strange. I don't know what he's doing right now. Safety car. No, we don't want a safety car because of that. I don't know, he's going very odd. He's going very slow and he was off track there. I don't know. Yeah. Very strange what I'm seeing that Haas driver do right now.
Well, he does have wing damage for sure, but I don't think that would be the cause of that.
Maybe,
or I don't think...
Maybe, yeah. Maybe just getting out of the way. Hopefully he doesn't crash and cause a safety car. I think he's okay now. I think we're okay. But yeah, Calvin's still maintaining that lead. Gap's 2.1 now between himself and his teammate. So he's been the luckier or been the quicker guy through the traffic, and Forza Brendan not so. But Forza Brendan doesn't need to worry about that. As it stands, just to reiterate, as it stands, Forza Brendan will be champion. He has to finish 5th or lower for. Sorry, he has to finish 6th or lower for Calvin to be champion, and at the moment that is not happening. So Forza Brendan is champion as it stands.
Yeah, Marty, or wait, no, he did. Never mind. Just making his way past the Renault that is not Marty, being United Bosnia's Ekos Ty makes his way past Ariel Jordan as well, as United Bosnia picks up his second 3-second time penalty. And we also have to remember, he still has that 5-second time penalty as well. Major Falcon is out in the pit lane, so possibly mechanical issue, possibly technical issue there for Major Falcon, because that was really weird, I must say. But yeah, he's going to be out in the pit lane and not going to be able to finish this race now. But Storm still leads, 19-lap-old medium tires, and should be possibly into the pits this lap. No, he cannot. Is he going to try and extend this to the end? There's no way he's able to get to the end.
No way.
There's no way he gets that to the end. That would be the drive of the season, I must say. Yeah. But I think Calvin and Forza Brendan would be able to catch him before he does get to the end of the race, no matter really what. Marty was able to stay within DRS range down towards turn 1 on that lap. He did it after making his way up into P5 now. Is going to be trying to stick with those guys, United Bosnia and Toe. Poldypoles, Ekos Ty, not in DRS range, but Camel on the hard tires, as well as Jordan, Excel, Cali, all in this train. But now Cali trying to make a move around the outside of turn 4 on Ariel Jordan. Ariel Jordan's been losing positions ever since the beginning of this race, and now Cali with purple first sector. He's going to be making his way past the Alfa Romeo driver, possibly making his move on Camel into turn 6 and turn 7, but not going to be quite close enough. That is a very, very risky move if he were to make it through turn 7. Now he looks up the inside, but not going to be quite close enough is the Racing Point driver. So now Cali's attempt to make his way through this field, as well as since drivers have, or quite a few drivers have penalties, especially United Bosnia, who I believe has 11 seconds. Poldypoles, we can just check now, has 8 seconds. Ekos Ty with 3, as well as Camel and Ariel Jordan behind him with 3 seconds. This could be a pretty decent point scoring day for Excel Cali.
Yeah, and he's on course for like maybe P5, maybe P5. I think P5 is quite realistic for him, as he's going to make the move now on Camel down the straight. Easy to like taking candy from a baby. Camel no match on those hard tyres compared to XL Cali's fresh soft tyres. Now he's got his next man on his list is Ekos Ty in P7, and all the guys in front of him, like you said, have pens, so he's in a good position. And two guys, or no, sorry, Storm did pit, and Storm come out in 11th, so Marty still needs to pit. So XL Cali is already in a net P7, so I think P4 is definitely possible for him at the moment.
Yeah, definitely, Cali.
Maybe in a P3. Maybe in a P3. Maybe I'm being a bit too optimistic, but I think a third place isn't out of the question for XL Cali. As we have Marty still out on those hard tires. I cannot imagine how bad they feel. I don't know if he's going to try and go to the end. I very much doubt he will make it to the end of the race. It'd be some drive if he does, as United Bosnia has got back into DRS overheated after losing that place a couple laps ago from his mistake out of that final corner there. And we can see XL Cali already catching up to the back of the two Red Bull drivers, the back of Bond, pick up the time down. A lot of drivers have time pens, as you can see. With the black and grey or white flag beside their name, but here comes Ecos Ty around the outside of turn 1 on his team. Apollo was setting the fastest lap of the race, and that's an easy move up into P6. And yeah, maybe he could be the one that could get a podium, but again, he does have a pen compared to XL Cali not having a pen, so let's wait and see. As I seem to have lost my co-commentator, so I will continue to ramble on here. The gap now between Forza Brennan and Ariel Calvin is 3.2 seconds, so I think Calvin might have this in the bag at the moment. I don't think Forza Brennan has any interest in winning this race. He doesn't need to win this race, so he's just going to focus on bringing it home for P2, taking it nice and easy. But keep an eye on the likes of Ecos Ty and XL Cali. They are closing in on a rapid knot on the guys on the hard and the medium tyres, as Serena Walk has now left the session. We will see him again next season, hopefully, as we end the season here tonight in Brazil, as Ecos Ty gets all out of shape with the final corner. He's not going to be close enough. Oh, hello there, you're back.
Yeah, I'm back. I had to go lock some doors. But yes, I am back. But yeah, Ariel, I'm not exactly sure what happened. Okay, Cali is now on the back.
United Bosnia has gone so hot into turn 1. He's completely missed his braking points, and that's going to give a chance for Ecos Ty to get the move done. He's going to have such a better run down into turn 4. He's going to have DRS as well. Is the Renault or Red Bull driver on the Renault? This is going to be an easy move on the soft tire. He's going to go round the outside of turn 4. United Bosnia going to brake very late, and he does it. He lets him go, so he's up into P5. And of course, those time penalties at the end might come back about. He goes a bit wide, goes Pody pose, and XL Cali's on the back of him. This race is going to get very interesting, I think, for the podium. Couple last 5 laps or so.
Yeah, definitely. Right now, on lap 27, the leader, Ariel Calvin, just heading through turn 10 there. But yeah, I think Ecos Ty has made his way past Polypols, unless he was already in front, but now has also made his way past United Bosnia. So the Red Bull driver, who's on a fresh set of soft compound tires, are only 4 laps old, or almost 5 laps old. He's going to be up into P5 right now, looking to chase down Heated, but he does have that time penalty. I think he has 8 seconds, I want to say, without... I can check actually real quick. Yes, he does actually only has 3 seconds. I think that's Polypols with the 8 seconds of time penalties. Excel.
United Bosnia has 11, doesn't he? As Cali makes a move. Yeah, Cali makes a move around the outside of Polypols down into turn 1, and he gets himself up into P7. Yeah, a lot of pens for a lot of drivers.
Yeah, definitely. XL Cali, though, is in now up into P7 right now, and he is one of the 4 drivers out of the top 7, well, top 9, if you want to go that far down. He's who do not have a time penalty. Storm in P10 is also clean as well. So 1 out of 5 drivers in the top 13 without a time penalty there. So Storm also trying to make his way past Camel right now for P9 out on track. But Cali is in P7 right now, just in behind, trying to follow United Bosnia and try and make that move as soon as possible to try and possibly close down Ecos Ty, who but is on fresher soft compound tires, who's closing down Heated and Marty very, very quickly. The Williams driver, it seems, struggling to get past Marty, who I think is trying to take these hard compound tires to the end of the race.
If he could take it to the end of the race, I think he pitted at the end of lap 2.
He pitted under the safety car, so yeah, the end of lap 2.
Yeah, so if he makes the end of the race, GG's, he deserves a podium, but here comes Heated around the outside of turn 1, probably an easy move before the braking zones are even come close, and that's him up into P3. But yeah, I don't know if Marty can make it to the end of the race. If he makes it to the end of the race, fair play. But I'm expecting a puncher or him to pit, one or the other. And then, Ecos Ty is catching up to the back of these guys. Ecos Ty might be able to get turned on track, but pens might come into factor. Again, XL Cali is the only guy with a real chance of a podium who doesn't have a pen yet, so he might be able to nick it on pens. We'll have to wait and see come the end of the race, but Ecos Ty most definitely has a great chance of getting on track, at least. And I
Yeah.
say that, so Storm
I think it was
lost
Storm.
it. Yeah.
He had
Yeah.
he had some contact with Kimmel going into turn 4 there, but yeah. So he's been spun, or well, half spun around, and now we'll lose the position. Jordan also has Bag of Bones right on his tail as well on 6-lap or 3-lap older soft compound tires. But yeah, let's get back up to the front of the race. Oh my gosh, Marty was so slow off of turn 10. Ecos tie almost went straight into the back of Marty's Renault and almost probably took out all of them, and that would have promoted everyone in behind a position up. But yeah, Ecos tie lucky to get away with no wing damage there, but now he's going to be up into P5. You can already see how far Heated was able to pull away in a lap, 1.4 seconds for the Williams driver, and now Ecos tie, who's on half the tire life that Heated has done, half the amount of laps that Heated has done. He's now going to be up into P4 and looking to chase down that the Williams driver. Marty will be down to P5, but Khaled trying to chase him down as well. He can still pick up positions off of Marty and Ecos tie, obviously, just because the Racing Point doesn't have any penalties right now. But he looks to have a third place wrapped up just in behind the two AlphaTauri, who's being led currently, being led by Ariel Calvin up at the front of the race. 3.5 seconds, 3.3 seconds now between the two AlphaTauri boys, and it does indeed look like if nothing happens that's too dramatic up at the front or throughout the field, possibly a safety car. You never know. Looks like Forza Brennan will be winning the Division 4 championship for Season 5. But yeah, he did now trying to close them down, possibly make up a few positions. He does have a few lot fresher tires, but I don't think that will make too much. I don't think that'll make too much of a difference. But Ecos tie on those soft tires looking to charge through the field as well. But now I think Marty is going to fall victim once again to another driver on fresh soft tires.
Yeah, I think XL Cali is the next driver that might be able to get past Marty. I think he's going to have to wait now till turn 4, as Marty just has a little bit more ERS than the Racing Point driver, so he's going to have to wait, bide his time, and maybe try and get a better run out to turn 2 and 3, and now doing turn 4. Look, you can see how much more grip he has on those tyres compared to Marty. You're very, very old hard. He's going to send a very late move into turn 4. He is. Marty's going to give him space, fair play. It's a good move by XL Academy. Marty not battling too much, try maybe looking after his tyres a bit. He knows he needs to nurse them home. But XL Cali now up into P5, and he'd be hoping to catch up to the likes of Heaton and Ecos tie and maybe snatch a podium position after picking up damage on lap 1. It'd be a great recovery drive from him. He's only got 5 laps to do it, so let's see what he can do.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what let's see if he's able to close up Ty, who's just closed up to Heated. But obviously with that penalty, it's going to be difficult for him to secure that podium position. But it's going to be even more difficult if he wants to catch up to those two AlphaTauri. So obviously Forza Brennan is the closest out of the two AlphaTauri leaders, only being 2.8 seconds in front of Heated there. But now I think Callie just trying to close that down. Marty, as we have a yellow flag, that's going to be Ryan B., I think, as United Bosnia will make his way past his teammate Marty, who's on 28 lap old hard compound tires. United Bosnia only on a lowly 17 in pulley poles, as well as Camel just in behind on 16 lap old hard tires. So anyone trying to make their way through the field, a la Storm, a la Bag of Bones on those soft tires, is going to be finding it quite difficult because all those hard runners seem to be very, very close to each other and not losing too much time, I have to say. But yeah, going on to lap 32 right now, I think this race has played out perfectly into the hands of Forza Brennan and into his championship hopes.
Yeah, 100%. I think since the Heated and Mega Falcon incident, which really broke off the train, it's been plain sailing for Forza Brennan. He hasn't had to look behind him really at all of this race. He's got a nice buffer, 2.5 seconds to Heated. He might want to keep an eye on Ecos title when he does get past Heated, if he does get past Heated on those soft tires. He might be able to make a late charge on Forza Brennan. He does have a pen, of course, so he won't be able to get on track, but just battling in general, maybe picking up damage or something, who knows what could happen. So you want to be careful of that. But here comes Ecos tie now on Heated. He's got to make a very easy DRS move down into turn 1 and promote himself up into P3 on track. But at the moment, if Heated can stay within 3 seconds of Ecos tie, he will keep that podium position as he does not have a pen. One of the very few guys not to have a pen here tonight. So we're hoping to keep it like that till the end of the race, and he'll be able to keep hold of P3. But he's got to keep an eye out on XL Cali behind, who's 3 seconds behind. He's got to really get a move on now if he wants a podium, as he's struggling to keep up without DRS. But he's low on the field here. He has the yellow icon showing up, so he hasn't put in enough fuel. So he's going to have to conserve a bit of fuel for the end of the race. And already, look, you can see he's already lost DRS to Ecos tie. So you can just tell the advantage those soft tires have over the rest of the field, as Ecos tie is closing in on Forza Brennan rapidly.
Yeah, definitely. That gap is already down to 1.8 seconds. It was 2.7, I do believe, just on the lap previous. So Storm makes his way past Camel through turn 10 there. So Storm up into P9 and can possibly pick up even more positions just on those penalties. Poldy Pulse with 8 seconds and United Bosnia with 11. He could make up those 2 positions. And now Ryan B's out of the race. I think it's a little bit too late for a safety car now. But as Ekostai sets fastest lap of the race, and now only 1.3 seconds behind Forza Brendan. So that clean air really helping him as Cali makes his way past United Bosnia around the outside of turn 2, down the inside of turn 1. Beautiful move for Cali, but now is he going to be able to hold on to it? He has the ERS to use, but United Bosnia will have the DRS, but I think it's just going to equal out. I think United Bosnia has a little bit of advantage with the slipstream, but Cali's going to be up into P5, and now we'll have clean air once again, and can possibly, well, should be able to wrap up this P5 for the time being. Storm looking to make his way through the field as Camel, I think, has made a mistake. He's either had contact with Backbones because Backbones was going quite slow as well. Let's see if there's any damage to these drivers. Backbones has damage. Does Camel have damage? No, he does not. So it was only Backbones who lost a chunk of his front wing there. But just heading out of turn 12 is Ariel Calvin, going to be entering the penultimate lap once he does cross the start-finish line. He knows his championship hopes are over, just hoping for something possibly, but I think it's just a little bit too late. Forza Brendan now can complete his Sunday drive or his Saturday drive, but actually Ekostai just a second in behind, so he has a little bit of competition for that second place out on track, but should be able to wrap up that championship. I'm sure that's the only thing he really cares about.
Yeah, I don't expect him to battle Ekostai much, if any at all. You have to say, fair play to Calvin. He has done everything he had to do. We got pole position, looks like he's going to get the race win. He just got to take his hat off to his teammate Forza Brendan, who's just done everything he has to do equally, getting P2 and bringing home this championship. You would